Hey there, Washington Commanders fans. Today we're diving deep into what's happening with our team. And let me tell you, it's incredibly exciting. The season is on fire, and the Commanders are going all out, playing much better than anyone expected. And if you're one of those who thought the team would still take some time to get into gear, brace yourself, because this story might end sooner than we imagined. But before we continue, make sure to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell, because only here will you stay up to date with everything happening with our Washington Commanders. And I'm warning you, what we're going to talk about today will shake up your expectations for the rest of the season. The Commanders aren't just winning, they're dominating. The crushing victory over the Cleveland Browns in Week 5 was further proof that something big is happening at Northwest Stadium. And look, it wasn't just any victory, it was a true demolition. The entire team played great, from defense to offense. Everyone did their part, and that left the fans leaving the stadium with ear-to-ear smiles. And you know what's even cooler? This 4-game winning streak puts us on everyone's radar. The work Dan Quinn is doing is unbelievable. The guy came in with a win-now mentality, and the team bought into that idea. You can see the confidence of the players on the field, and there's no denying it. The energy is different. But will the success continue, or are we still going to face some difficulties? Let's explore that a bit more. Now, speaking of a guy who deserves our attention, Adam Peters. If you follow the behind the scenes of the NFL, you know he didn't come to play around. The general manager arrived with a clear long-term rebuilding plan, but with the team doing so well, he might be forced to reevaluate some steps. Is it worth waiting that long, or is it time to make a bold move before the trade deadline? One thing's for sure, Peters has a lot to think about in the coming weeks. When we talk about the trade deadline, it's always that question. Is it time to invest more in the team, or are we still in the building phase? Peters came in thinking about accumulating assets, choosing well in the draft, and building a strong team for the future. But with what we're seeing on the field, expectations have changed. Now, the idea of adding more talent to the roster, instead of trading for future picks, seems increasingly attractive. And I'll tell you, if this team keeps up this pace, we can even dream about playoffs, maybe even the NFC East title. But hold on, there's a huge test coming up. Next week, we play against the Baltimore Ravens. And look, this will be the real thermometer. The Ravens are flying low and are a tough team to beat. If the Commanders can come out with a win, you can bet the entire league will be watching us. This matchup will be crucial to measure where we really are this season. And meanwhile, Peters is there, observing everything from the VIP box. He knows it's still early to start doing crazy things. The guy is cold, calculating, and won't let the initial success go to his head. His vision remains long-term, and that's what reassures fans who want a solid team for many years, not just a passing success. But also, if a market opportunity that makes sense comes up, he won't let it pass. And that's the key point. Will he make a bombshell trade? Maybe. But if he does, it will be something that really makes sense for the team, both financially and in terms of on-field impact. We know Peters is smart, so we can't expect any rash decisions. Everything has to be at the right time and with the right guy because, in the long run, he doesn't want to harm the team's financial health. But with this winning streak, it's hard not to think he might be planning something big. And who would have thought we'd be 4-1? Let's be honest. Few fans imagined this before the season started. We knew the team was improving, but winning 4 games in a row, and so convincingly, wasn't in the script. Except for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers who gave us trouble, the Commanders have shown they're ready to compete on equal terms with anyone. That's why the feeling among the fans is pure excitement. It's been a while since we've seen the team start so well. The last time we had such a promising start to the season was many years ago, and people are starting to believe that finally, the sleeping giant is awakening. And this feeling that something special is in the air is contagious. You feel that the Commanders are on the right track, and Peters has in his hands the chance to take this team a step further. Of course, we still have a long way to go. The NFL season is full of ups and downs, and will still have many twists and turns. But if the team continues with this momentum, it wouldn't be surprising to see Peters making some important move before the trade deadline. The idea of adding more talent to this team that's already working so well is tempting, and he'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. Now let's talk about what really matters, the crushing victory over the Cleveland Browns. Folks, what a game was that? I'm telling you, there's no way not to get excited about what this team is doing. Every week, our Commanders are getting stronger, and this victory put us at the top of the NFC East with a 4-1 record. And if you don't remember, this is the best start to a season since 2008. This is incredible because anyone who's been following the team for a while knows it wasn't easy to get here. And what excites me the most is that this team is playing with confidence. There's no more fear of making mistakes. We're seeing boldness and well-played football. The big highlight, of course, was him, Jayden Daniels. This guy is simply rewriting NFL history. Yes, I said history. He became the first player in the league to accumulate 1,000 passing yards and 250 rushing yards in the first 5 games of his career. It's surreal, my friends. And look, he didn't even start the game at full throttle. He seemed like a rookie still adjusting, but as the game progressed, he destroyed the Browns' defense. And I'll tell you, what he did was just a taste of what's to come, huh? Now think about it. A rookie like this, already making history in such a short time, can only indicate that the Commanders' future is bright. Daniels had a bit of a rough start to the game, but he soon got into gear and started distributing precise passes. And who shone along with him was our running back, Austin Eckler. He simply destroyed the opposing defense with 4 plays of more than 20 yards. That's not for everyone, right? The Browns' defense simply didn't know what to do. Speaking of defense, what was happening with Cleveland's? It seems they were out of breath from the start. Deshaun Watson, the Browns' quarterback, couldn't lead the offense consistently, and that made our job much easier. They haven't surpassed 300 total yards in any of the 5 games this season, and haven't scored more than 20 points in any game. It's clear that the problem there isn't just the defense, but also the offense, which isn't managing to function efficiently. Back to Daniels. His numbers might seem normal if you look quickly. 14 of 25 passes for 238 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. But hold on, you have to look deeper. The impact he had was much greater than these numbers suggest. Combining what he did with both his arm and legs, he accumulated 320 total yards. That's the highest mark for a rookie quarterback in the Commanders since 2012, when the great Robert Griffin III debuted with 348 yards. See the connection? Great rookie quarterbacks seem to do very well in Washington. And it wasn't just the offense that shone. The Commanders' defense put on a show of its own. Frankie Louvu, our linebacker, was a true monster on the field. He brought the aggressiveness that the coaching staff wanted so much, both in pressuring the quarterback and in tackles. He even recovered a fumble that helped consolidate our victory. This shows that the entire team is playing with focus, with determination, and Louvu is just one example of that. Oh, I can't forget to highlight an important statistic. The Commanders were in last place in the NFL when it came to holding opponents on 3rd downs. And what happened against the Browns? We held them to just 1 of 13 third down conversions. That's right, they only converted once. And it was at the very end of the game when everything was practically decided. This shows the evolution of our defense and how it's becoming more solid each week. Another defensive highlight was Bobby Wagner. He added a sack, showing that our defensive line continues to be one of the most feared in the league. And the best of all, our secondary, which had been struggling quite a bit in previous weeks, stepped up and managed to neutralize the Browns' passing game. It was a complete performance, both on offense and defense. The atmosphere in Washington is completely different this year. What was once tension has now turned into excitement, and much of this is due to the presence of Jayden Daniels. He brought new energy to the team, something that had been missing for a long time. And not only that, the wins are also coming back, which puts a smile on the faces of players who have been with the team for a longer time, like Jonathan Allen and Jeremy Reeves. The whole team has a good vibe, and that's reflecting on the field. Now, if you're like me, who's been following the Commanders for years, you know it's not every day that we see FedEx Field with such excited fans. This game was a party. The crowd vibrated the whole time, and that makes all the difference. It's a feeling we haven't seen in a long time, and I'm here to tell you that this year looks like it's going to be special. So, can we already dream about playoffs? It's too early to say, but one thing is certain. This team is playing like never before, and every week the confidence only increases. The next challenge will be tough, huh? Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson on the other side. But if our defense keeps playing like this, we definitely have a chance. Now, on the Browns side, the situation is ugly, folks. Their offense simply can't find itself. It seems that every time Watson goes to throw, it's an adventure. They failed on all 12 third down attempts, not to mention they weren't even managing to advance on other downs. Watson finished with a measly 125 passing yards. If that's not worrying, I don't know what is. And what's more impressive, they were playing against our defense, which in the first weeks wasn't that solid. The fact that they couldn't score more than 20 points shows how broken the Browns' offense is. Penalties were also a problem for them, but in the end, it's the offense that's sinking the team. And that explains why they have such a bad record, 1-4, even with the highest payroll in the league. So folks, I'll leave this question hanging. Is this finally the Commanders' year? We have a young, talented, and confident team. What do you think? Leave it in the comments because I want to know your opinion.